What if your home wasn't just where you live, but a mirror of your inner life? Not just walls and a roof, but a reflection of how you feel, think, and belong. Most people see a house as shelter, but maybe it's something more, something sacred. So here's the real question. What does a home that fits your soul actually look and feel like? In this episode, we'll explore that, from the spiritual flow of Vastu Shastra to Heidegger's idea of dwelling, to Le Corbusier's vision of the home as a machine, because a home isn't just built, it's felt. Let's begin. Let's step back from ideas of what a nice house is. Not Pinterest boards, not staged homes with gray furniture and throw pillows. Let's ask a deeper question. What does a home that fits your soul actually look like? And more importantly, how does it feel? Imagine walking into a space that makes your shoulders drop, your breathing slow down, your mind clear. The light feels right. The layout flows with how you live. The materials and colors feel honest. Nothing about it feels forced. That feeling, that sense of alignment, is what this episode is about. Not perfection in the polished sense, but in the deep sense. A house that fits you. To get there, we'll need to talk about more than just architecture. Yes, we'll touch on the basics, light, layout, materials, balance, but we'll also bring in bigger ideas. We'll explore how ancient Indian traditions like Vastu Shastra saw the home as a living system. We'll look at how the philosopher Martin Heidegger described the act of dwelling, and how he saw home as a relationship between the earth, the sky, human life, and the sacred. And we'll consider how modern architect Le Corbusier tried to reduce the house to pure function, a machine for living, and why that idea, even if it sounds cold, has something valuable to teach us. Let's start with a simple scenario. Picture two homes. The first is visually stunning. It's on trend, but every time you walk in, something feels off. You can't relax. You keep moving from room to room. Now picture another. Maybe it's older, fewer statement pieces. But when you're there, time slows down. You feel like yourself. That difference isn't just about taste. It's about how the space is built to support your life, not just impress your friends. Design principles help explain why. Think of how light moves through your space, where it falls in the morning, where it disappears in the evening. Think of scale, how high the ceilings are, how narrow or open the rooms. Are the materials warm or cold? Do your feet want to move, or does the space ask you to stay? These things affect your emotions in ways you might not notice until you pay attention. But even when these principles are used well, something deeper might still be missing. This is where we shift into the realm of meaning. Every culture has tried to define what a home should be, and these definitions are more than rules, they're values encoded into space. Let's begin with Vastu Shastra. This system, developed thousands of years ago in India, is both practical and symbolic. It teaches that homes should align with the natural forces of the universe. Doors should face east to let in the morning sun. The kitchen should sit in the southeast, where the fire element resides. The center of the house should be open and empty, the Brahmastan, a place of stillness and balance. These choices aren't just aesthetic. They speak to how energy, or prana, moves through space. Whether or not you believe in that, the underlying message is clear. A home should be in harmony with the world around it. And when that happens, you feel different inside it. Now contrast that with something more abstract, Martin Heidegger's idea of dwelling. Heidegger wasn't a designer, he was a philosopher. But his writing on what it means to dwell has shaped how many architects think. For him, building a house isn't enough. You have to dwell in it, live with care, with thought, with attention. His idea of the fourfold is key here. He says true dwelling happens when four things come together: earth, sky, mortals, and divinities. Earth is the ground beneath you, the materials you build with. Sky is everything above, the light, the air, the weather, the seasons. Mortals are us, human beings, living with awareness of time and change. Divinities are the unseen things, ideas of the sacred, the meaningful, the mysterious. When a home respects all four, it becomes more than shelter. It becomes a place where life can unfold with depth. This might sound abstract, but think about it like this. A home built from stone or wood connects you to the earth. A window that lets you see the stars connects you to the sky. Photos of your parents, your child's drawing on the fridge, these are signs of mortals, people living through time, and a quiet place to reflect, to pray, to breathe deeply. This invites the divinities. These don't have to be separate rooms. They can be qualities. And when they're all present, the house feels whole. Then there's Le Corbusier, a modernist architect from the 20th century. He believed homes should be efficient, machines for living. He stripped away decoration. He focused on light, air, space, and movement. He designed with logic. What's the purpose of this room? How does someone move through it? Where does light need to fall? At first, this may feel like the opposite of what we've just explored. No mystery, no symbolism, just clean, crisp function. But here's the thing. Function matters. If you've ever lived in a space where the door bumps the sofa, where the kitchen is in the wrong place, where the bathroom has no window, you know how much poor design affects your day. Le Corbusier wanted homes to work like well-designed tools. He wasn't wrong. Sometimes, removing what's unnecessary makes room for what's meaningful. So now, step back and imagine a home that brings all of this together. A space that flows with your life, that orients itself to the sun and wind, that uses real materials, stone, wood, clay, that holds your memories, your future plans, your daily rituals, that invites light and silence and laughter and rest, one that serves your needs, supports your emotions, and connects you, however subtly, to something greater. That's what we mean by the perfect house for you. Not ideal, not flawless, but fitting, alive, honest, a place where you don't just live, but dwell. When we talk about designing a home, we often jump straight to decoration, paint colors, furniture choices, maybe some lighting. But before any of that, before you even think about what your home should look like, it's worth asking how you want it to feel. That question is more useful than any checklist. Because the truth is, the best homes don't just function well or look good. They create a certain mood. They shape how you move, how you rest, and how you feel in your own skin. That feeling doesn't come from chance. It comes from design. Not flashy design, not trendy design, but thoughtful design, using basic elements and principles that architects and builders have known for centuries. Space, light, flow, materials, proportions. These aren't abstract ideas. They are the tools that make a space either work or fall flat. Take light. Natural light changes everything. A room that gets morning sun feels alive and calm. A dim hallway without windows feels closed off. The way light falls on a surface can soften it or make it feel cold. A wooden floor in golden sunlight feels warm. The same wood under harsh overheat feels sterile. Light tells your body when to wake up, when to slow down. It affects your circadian rhythm, your mood, your energy. In design, light isn't decoration, it's structure. Now think about space. Not square footage, but how the space flows. Imagine two kitchens. One is tight, the counters too close together. When more than one person's in there, it feels like a traffic jam. The other kitchen might be the same size, but the layout is smart. There's room to move, to pass, to reach what you need without turning in circles. That's flow. When a home flows well, you feel it without having to name it. When it doesn't, your day is filled with little frustrations that you think are your fault, but they're not. It's the space. Materials matter just as much. Wood, stone, metal, concrete, each of these gives off a different sensation. Not just to the eye, but to the body. A stone wall makes a room feel grounded and cool. Raw wood adds warmth and texture. Even if you can't name the difference, your body notices. There's a reason why people run their hands along smooth wooden railings or lean against cool tile on a hot day. These aren't just surfaces, they're sensory cues. Then there's proportion. This is one of those design words that sounds technical, but is actually very human. It's about scale, how the size of things relate to each other and to you. A ceiling that's too low makes you feel cramped. A window that's too small feels stingy, like the room is hiding from the world. A table that's too big for the room makes it hard to breathe. But when the proportions are right, when everything is in relation to your body and your needs, you don't think about it. You just feel comfortable. Behind all of this are a set of design principles: unity, contrast, rhythm, balance, harmony. These might sound like abstract art terms, but they show up in every space you enter. Unity means things belong together. They share a tone, a material, a feeling. Contrast makes sure things don't get boring, light and dark, soft and hard, smooth and rough. Rhythm is how repetition shows up in patterns, beams on a ceiling, tiles on a floor. Balance means nothing feels too heavy on one side of a room. Harmony is when all of these work together. You don't have to study design to know when a room has it. You feel it in your chest. You want to stay. When these principles come together, a space can affect your emotional state. And that's not poetic, it's physical. Your nervous system responds to space. In a cluttered, overfilled room, your body tenses. In an open, well-proportioned one, you breathe easier. A hallway that opens into a warm, lit room feels like an invitation. A cramped corner lit with fluorescent light feels like punishment. Architects and designers know this. Hospitals, schools, libraries, they all get designed with mood in mind. So should your home. Imagine a bedroom. It doesn't have to be big, but the bed is placed where you can see the morning light. The ceiling isn't too high, so it feels intimate. The wall is a muted color, soft on the eyes. There's one chair in the corner with a light that invites reading. The floor is wood, and it's warm under bare feet. That's not just a good room. It's a mood. It says, rest here. You're safe. Or imagine a kitchen that opens into a garden. It gets light in the late morning. The surfaces are easy to clean. The layout flows from fridge to sink to stove. There's a window near the sink, so washing dishes isn't a chore. It's a moment to breathe. This space tells you, move here, work here, feel awake here. A house isn't just visual, it's visceral. Your body reacts to it before your mind does. You walk in, and your shoulders either drop or stay tense. Your feet either slow down or speed up. You either want to stay or you want to leave. You don't need expensive things to create this feeling. You need attention. You need to ask, where does the light fall? What do I touch every day? Where do I spend time? Where do I need quiet? Where do I feel exposed? These questions matter more than paint color. They guide you toward a home that supports your life from the inside out. Good design isn't about display. It's about how a space speaks to your senses, holds your routines, and helps you come back to yourself. When your home feels like an extension of your body and your rhythm, you've done it right. You've created a space that doesn't just house you, but holds you. So far, we've talked about how homes make us feel, how light, space, and material affect our mood, behavior, and sense of ease. A narrow hallway can make us tense. Natural light in the morning can lift our mood. Soft textures and natural materials can calm us down. These details matter, not just visually, but emotionally. But let's step back for a moment. What exactly is a home? Is it just a physical structure, a place to sleep, store your belongings, and go about your routine? Or is it something more, a reflection of who you are, how you see the world, what you value? This isn't a new question. People across time and culture have tried to answer it in many ways, and their answers have shaped the way homes are built, lived in, and understood. What makes a space feel like home? What does it mean to live well within it? How should a house relate to nature, to the body, to memory, to meaning? Architecture is more than shelter. It's more than style. It's a way of thinking, a quiet expression of belief. Behind every layout, every doorway, every wall or window, there are assumptions about life, about what matters. And when you look closer, you start to see that the design of a home is never neutral. It's always saying something, even if you can't hear it right away. To explore this further, we'll look at three very different visions of what a home can be. One comes from ancient Indian thinking, Vastu Shastra, which approaches the home as part of a greater natural and cosmic system. Another comes from the German philosopher Martin Heidegger, whose work offers a deep and poetic view of what it means to dwell. And the third comes from the modernist architect Le Corbusier, who saw the house as a precise, efficient machine for living. Each of these offers a way to think about home, not as a finished product, but as a space shaped by meaning. They come from different places and times, and they seem to point in different directions. But together, they help us ask better questions about the homes we live in and the ones we want to create. Each one gives us a lens, a set of values, a way of seeing. And in the next part of this episode, we'll step into each of these ideas, one by one, not just to study them, but to understand what they might offer us now. Because when we look closely, we might find that the perfect house isn't one single idea. It's what happens when you hold these ideas together and let them guide you, quietly, practically, toward a home that feels not just right, but right for you. Vastu Shastra is an old system of thinking about space. It comes from India and is focused on how the layout of a home can support a person's well-being. It's not just about looks or function, it's about balance. At its heart, Vastu treats the home as part of nature, not separate from it. It sees the house as something alive, something that breathes and responds to the world around it. In this system, how a house sits on the land, how it faces the sun, and how rooms are placed all matter. These choices are thought to shape the energy that flows through the space. Vastu is built on 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Each one has certain qualities and needs to be placed in the right area of the home. Earth is solid and grounding. Water is fluid and connected to emotion. Fire brings energy and transformation. Air carries movement and breath. Space holds everything together. In a Vastu home, these elements aren't symbolic. They are practical guides for how to set up your living environment. Let's take direction as an example. In Vastu, direction is central. The east is important because it's where the sun rises. Light from the east is seen as clean, strong, and positive. So, the main entrance of a house is best placed on the east side to bring that light and energy into the home. If you think about it practically, morning light from the east does feel different. It's soft, it helps your body wake up. It changes the mood of a space early in the day. Placing key spaces like the front door or even a meditation area in the east invites that kind of energy into your daily rhythm. Now think about the kitchen. In Vastu, the kitchen is placed in the southeast. That direction is linked to fire. The stove, where you cook, where heat is most active, belongs here. Cooking while facing east is also recommended. Again, this isn't just symbolic. It lines up with how heat, light, and human activity interact throughout the day. It brings a rhythm to the act of making food, turning it into a focused, intentional part of life, not just a task. The bedroom, too, has its logic. Vastu suggests sleeping with your head toward the south or east. The idea is that this aligns the body with the Earth's magnetic pull. Whether or not you think of it in terms of magnetism, you've probably noticed that how you sleep in a room changes how you feel. Head facing a window or a blank wall, sleeping near a door, or directly under a beam, each of these things subtly changes how safe or supported you feel in rest. Vastu simply offers a framework for paying attention to those sensations. One of the more striking ideas in Vastu is the Brahmastan. This is the center of the house. It should be open, free of clutter or heavy structures. In practical terms, this might be an open atrium, a courtyard, or even just a clear area in the middle of the floor plan. The Brahmastan is seen as the heart of the house. It allows energy, movement, light, breath to pass freely through the space. Imagine walking into a home with a clear, light-filled center. It draws you in. It makes the whole space feel balanced. There's room to breathe. Vastu also thinks about the placement of bathrooms, staircases, storage, even plants. But the purpose isn't control. It's alignment. It's about placing the parts of the house where they support life, not block it. There's a sense of flow, a feeling that things are in their right place, not just physically, but energetically. Whether or not you follow all of Vastu's rules, there's something in this way of thinking that feels useful. It encourages awareness. It reminds us that how we place things matters, that sunlight, wind, heat, and space are not just background elements. They shape how we live. They affect our energy, our mood, our focus, and our ability to rest. You can apply some of these ideas in small, simple ways. If you can, place your bed so that morning light hits the room. Try keeping the center of your home clear of heavy objects. Notice how you feel when you walk in. Do you turn left or right? Is it natural or awkward? Does your kitchen feel grounded or chaotic? These are small things, but they carry weight. Vastu treats the home as a whole system, not a collection of rooms, but a connected field, a sacred field, even. And when a house follows this logic, it feels coherent. It's not just decorated, it's in tune with the land, with the light, and with the people inside it. That doesn't mean it's perfect. It means it feels alive. A place where energy moves, rests, and renews, where the shape of the space supports the shape of your life. That's the heart of Vastu, and it offers a way to see the home not just as shelter, but as a partner in how you live. To dwell is to be at peace in a space, to care for it, and to let it care for you. That's the starting point of Martin Heidegger's thinking on home. For him, Dwelling wasn't the same as just living in a house. It was something deeper. It meant living in a way that's rooted, thoughtful, and connected. When we dwell, we're not just using space, we're in relationship with it. We live alongside it, we shape it, and it shapes us in return. Heidegger believed that modern life had pulled us away from this kind of connection. Buildings had become objects, homes were reduced to assets or tools. But he thought we could return to a more meaningful way of living by understanding what it means to dwell. To explain that, Heidegger introduced a concept called the Fourfold. He said that to truly dwell, we have to live in harmony with four things: earth, sky, mortals, and divinities. These aren't separate categories. They overlap. They describe the full shape of human experience, and when a home holds all four, it becomes more than shelter. It becomes a place of being. Earth is the first part of the Fourfold. It's the physical world: soil, stone, wood, water, the ground we build on, the materials we use. A home built from earth feels grounded. It belongs where it stands. Think of a house with stone walls that come from a nearby quarry, or timber beams made from local trees. These aren't just materials. They tie the house to the land. When you touch them, you know where you are. You feel weight. You feel history. That's earth. A home that honors earth uses what is real. It doesn't hide its structure. It lets you feel the bones of the space. Sky is the second part. Sky means the open space above us, the light that moves across the floor, the seasons that change the color of the air. Sky is about letting time and weather enter the home. A room with a window that frames the sun at sunset, a porch where you hear the rain, a skylight that shows the stars. These are not luxuries, they're invitations. They remind you that you are not sealed off from the world. They let your home breathe. When a space holds the sky, it doesn't try to fight nature. It makes room for it. Then come mortals. That's us, human beings. But Heidegger wasn't just talking about people in general. He meant us as we really are, living beings who know we won't live forever. Mortality isn't something we usually design for, but it shapes everything. We build memories into our homes, photos on the wall, marks on the doorframe, the spot where someone always sat. These signs show that life has passed through the space. A good home makes room for memory, for ritual, for change. It doesn't erase time, it holds it. You see this when a home allows for different stages of life. A child grows up in the same room, a table gets worn at the edges, a bench by the window becomes a place to think. These things don't shout, but they say something. They say this is a space where people have lived. They've eaten, grieved, laughed, grown older. A home that includes mortals isn't frozen. It moves with the people in it. And then there are divinities. This one is harder to name. Heidegger didn't mean religion exactly. He meant the part of life that goes beyond explanation, the sacred, the mysterious, the meaningful. In a home, this might be a place of quiet, a corner with a candle, a shelf of books that matter to you, a garden where you sit alone at the end of the day. These are not functional spaces. They don't produce anything, but they matter. They let something in, a feeling, a question, a sense of being part of something larger. When you make space for that, you're not just decorating, you're creating a space that lets you pause, reflect, connect to something you can't name. Heidegger's Fourfold isn't a checklist. You don't have to build 4 rooms and label them earth, sky, mortals, and divinities. It's a way of thinking, a way of asking whether your home supports you in all the ways that matter. Does it hold you physically? Does it open to the natural world? Does it reflect the shape of your life, your memories, your aging? Does it leave room for silence, mystery, wonder? Let's take a simple example. Imagine a small house in the countryside. It's made from local stone and clay. That's earth. It has wide windows that face the hills and bring in the morning light. That's sky. Inside, there are signs of life, family photos, a bookshelf with notes in the margins, a table marked with years of use. That's mortals. In the back room, there's a small corner with a chair and a candle where someone sits each evening in stillness. That's divinities. Or take a city apartment. It's not large, but the materials are honest. Wood floors, plaster walls. There's a window with a view of the sky. The furniture is worn, but chosen with care. There are reminders of people who have come and gone. A small plant. A quiet space by the window. These don't require wealth. They require attention. They show that someone lives there who is not just passing through. Heidegger teaches us that a true home is not a possession, it's a relationship. You don't just own it, you live with it, you dwell in it. And it dwells with you. You care for it, and it holds your life. Not just your routines, but your meaning, your body, your memory, your sense of time, your questions. When a home makes room for all that, it becomes more than a structure. It becomes part of your being. Not a background, a presence, a quiet, steady companion. Le Corbusier saw the home not as a symbol, not as a sacred space, but as a tool, a machine. He once wrote, "A house is a machine for living in." That sentence shaped a century of architecture. It sounds cold at first, maybe even harsh, but what he meant was clear. Homes should be built to serve the people who live in them. They should support daily life with ease, not distract, not compete, just work. This was a reaction to the world he lived in. In the early 20th century, homes were often heavy with decoration. Carved wood, elaborate cornices, layers of furniture. They reflected a certain kind of wealth and tradition. But Le Corbusier believed all of that could get in the way of how a home actually functioned. He wanted to strip that down, remove the excess, let the design speak through its purpose. He worked with materials that were simple and strong: concrete, glass, steel. These weren't chosen for style, they were chosen for what they could do. Concrete could hold weight, glass could let in light, steel could stretch longer and higher than wood. He used them to create open floor plans, clean surfaces, and flexible spaces. He believed design should follow function. If something didn't serve a purpose, it didn't belong. That way of thinking shows up in the layout of his buildings. Rooms weren't cut off from one another by heavy doors or tight hallways. They flowed. They were shaped by how people moved through them. You cook here, you sit there, you read by the light coming in through this window. He designed with the body in mind. The human body, its size, its habits, its needs. He also thought deeply about light and air. His buildings often had long horizontal windows. They ran the length of the wall, rather than being small, vertical cuts in the surface. These windows didn't just let in more sunlight, they brought the outside in. They helped you feel connected to the landscape, even if you were sitting in a concrete room. He raised some buildings on thin columns, letting air and light pass under them. He opened up roofs to the sky with terraces and gardens. These weren't luxuries, they were necessities. Space, light, air, he saw them as basic needs, as vital as walls and floors. His work rejected traditional ornament. You won't find carved edges or curved railings in his early homes. Instead, you find clean geometry, sharp lines, surfaces that reflect their materials. To him, beauty came from precision, from proportion, from order, not from decoration. He wasn't trying to impress, he was trying to build something that made life easier. Now, this approach isn't warm. It doesn't aim to comfort through softness or nostalgia. It doesn't hold memories the way older homes might, but it does something else. It respects time. It respects energy. It asks, how do you live? Where do you work, eat, sleep, rest? What's in your way? And then it tries to remove what's unnecessary. That kind of design can bring calm, a kind of quiet built into the space itself. Imagine a small apartment. It's made with concrete and glass. There are large windows that open wide. The floor is smooth and bare. There's one table that works for dining, writing, and reading. Storage is hidden in the walls. The layout feels open but clear. You don't have to walk far to reach anything. You don't have to think about how to use the space. It just works. That's Le Corbusier's vision in practice. A home that doesn't require effort, that gives you room to live without getting in your way. Even in larger homes, this logic holds. The placement of the kitchen in relation to the dining area, the sightlines across a room, the way stairs turn without breaking the flow. These are choices made not for effect, but for function. They come from observing how people actually move and behave. There's a discipline in this approach. A home should do its job. It should shelter, yes, but it should also support your life without waste. It should be built to last. It should be easy to maintain. It should be clear in what it offers. In a world filled with noise, a well-designed space can be a form of quiet. That doesn't mean your home has to be bare. Le Corbusier's point wasn't about minimalism as a trend. It was about starting with purpose, letting the needs of the person lead the design. Once you have that, then you can add layers. But if the foundation isn't strong, if the space doesn't work, no amount of decoration will fix it. Le Corbusier reminds us that efficiency matters, that a home isn't only about feeling or symbolism or memory, it's also about use, about clarity, about rhythm. Design can be kind without being sentimental. It can be sharp without being cold. When the parts of a home are placed with care and reason, the whole space becomes easier to live in. A home, then, is not just a frame for your life. It's a tool, a setting, a structure that makes your habits smoother, your routine simpler, and your mind clearer. That's not emotionless. That's thoughtful. That's human. Le Corbusier's work asks us to look at the spaces we live in and ask, do they work? Do they help? Are they built for living or just for looking? These are practical questions, and sometimes the right answer is not to add more, but to take away, to refine, to trust that when form follows function, life becomes easier. Not perfect, but easier. And that ease, day after day, is its own kind of beauty. Each of these philosophies, Vastu Shastra, Heidegger's dwelling, and Le Corbusier's modernism, offers something real. None of them covers everything, but each gives a part of the picture. So how do you bring them together? How do you design a home that respects them all while staying true to who you are and how you live? Start with the idea of orientation. Vastu teaches us to think about energy, direction, and the balance of elements. It's not about superstition. It's about noticing how the world moves around you and responding to it. Morning light comes from the east. Cool winds may come from the north. These are simple facts, and you can use them. Let your bedroom catch early light. Place your kitchen where warmth gathers naturally. Keep the center of your home open, even if that just means not blocking it with furniture. When a home connects to the world around it, it feels better to be in. Then think about the ground under your feet. Heidegger called this earth. In practical terms, it means using materials that have weight, texture, and honesty. Wood, stone, brick, even clay. These things don't just fill a space, they ground it. They give it character, and they give you something real to touch and live with. You don't need to build an entire house from raw materials to feel this. A wooden chair, a solid table, a natural fiber rug, these are enough. They bring the sense of earth into a room. Look up next. Sky means openness, air, time passing. It's about light, not just to see, but to feel. Windows matter here, not just for the view, but for the way light moves through your space as the day goes on. A skylight above a hallway can change how you feel walking through it. A window near your workspace can lift your focus. A terrace or balcony that lets you breathe in evening air gives rhythm to your day. When a home lets the sky in, it feels less closed. It reminds you that life is always moving. Then turn toward your own life. Heidegger's mortals are us, living, aging, remembering. Homes that reflect this hold memory and change. You don't have to keep everything, but do keep what matters. A photo, a handprint on the wall, a book with worn pages, a table passed down, a cup used every morning. These things give your space shape. They tell the story of your life without words. Let your home reflect your routines, your habits, and your changes. Let it grow with you. Divinities are harder to name, but you know them when you feel them. They are the moments of stillness. The sense that something important, even if undefined, is held in a space. You don't need to make a shrine, but a corner for silence, a place for breath, a single object that carries meaning. These can become anchors. A candle, a smooth stone, a piece of music, a small plant. These things don't explain themselves. They don't need to. They just offer presence. Now step back and ask, does this home work? That's where Le Corbusier helps. He reminds us that a home should serve your life. It should make your day easier, not harder. If your kitchen doesn't flow, fix it. If your desk is in a dark corner, move it. If your entryway is a mess of shoes and bags, rethink the layout. Design with use in mind. That's not a sacrifice. It's respect for your time and energy. A house that works well makes space for everything else. This doesn't mean turning your home into a cold machine. It means finding balance. You can have open space and warmth. You can have function and feeling. You can have a room that holds memory and still works on a practical level. It starts by asking a simple question. How do I want to feel in this space? That question is more useful than any checklist. If you want to feel calm, look for softness, light, and space to slow down. If you want to feel focused, use clean surfaces, steady light, and clear paths. If you want to feel held, surround yourself with texture, objects with meaning, and places to rest. These feelings should guide your choices. Design around your rituals. If you make tea every morning, create a space that supports that. A tray, a shelf, a place to sit. If you read at night, put a chair near a window with a light that works. If you pause in the afternoon to think, make a spot for that. These don't need to be large gestures. They need to be clear. When your space supports what you already do, your habits become smoother. Your life feels more aligned. Pay attention to what you touch and what you see. If something always gets in the way, remove it. If something always feels good, use it more. Let your space be a mirror, not just of your taste, but of your pace. Some people move quickly, others slowly. Some need silence, others need sound. There's no right answer, but there is a right fit for you. If you share your home with others, pay attention to how they move too. Children, partners, guests, they bring their own patterns. A good home makes space for all of that. It doesn't force people to live a certain way. It responds. When you think about design in this way, it stops being a project and becomes a process. You don't finish your home. You live in it. You adjust. You listen. You change something small, then something else. Over time, your space becomes more yours. It stops being something you bought or rented and becomes something you're in conversation with. You can start small, one room, one corner, one surface. Notice how it feels. Ask what it needs. Add something. Take something away. Move a chair. Shift a light. Clean a shelf. This is how homes grow, slowly, with care. In the end, the best home is not the one that follows a rule or matches a picture. It's the one that lets you live fully, think clearly, rest deeply, and be quietly yourself. Not perfect, but right. And only you can know what that means. A perfect house isn't built by blueprints alone. It's built by belief, by care, by the choices you make day after day. It's not about having the most space, the newest materials, or the right look for someone else's standards. It's about having a space that knows you, that fits the shape of your life, and lets you be yourself within it. Perfection, when it comes to home, is easy to mistake. It's often sold to us as clean surfaces, aligned furniture, and neutral tones. Something that photographs well. But real perfection is quieter. It's the chair worn smooth by use, the patch of sunlight that falls in the right place at the right hour, the wall where you leaned your bike, the shelf that holds more than objects, holds memory. Heidegger said that to build is not enough. We must learn to dwell. That means more than just living in a house. It means paying attention to how it holds you, how you move through it, and how it reflects your experience of time, of place, of being alive. Dwelling asks something of us. It asks that we slow down and notice, that we treat the spaces we live in not as backdrops, but as participants in our daily lives. Think about your own home. What does it give you? What does it ask from you? Where do you feel most at ease? Where do you avoid going? These are clues. They point to what's working and what might need attention. It's not about starting over. It's about looking more closely. Ask yourself, what elements are missing? Is there enough earth? Do you feel grounded, supported, in touch with real material? Is there sky? Do you feel openness, light, the passing of time? Are there signs of mortals? Do your spaces hold memory, rhythm, change? And what about divinities? Do you have a place, however small, that holds meaning, reflection, or quiet? You don't need to answer right away, but carry the question with you as you move through your space. Let your home speak back to you. Let it show you what it wants to become. Not perfect for anyone else, just right for the life you're living.